Kev G, Weather Overview, Tropical Edition. Now, if you want to know about this week's weather, click on the video below this one. But we're going to look at the tropics because we have potentially two hurricanes hitting the Gulf Coast this week. One of them is Hurricane Marco, and that's about to come on shore in the next 24 hours on the Louisiana coast. And then the other one is Laura. Not quite a hurricane at this hour, but that is going to change, I feel, over the next day or so. And we're going to look at some of the factors that are driving these systems and also what to expect along the Gulf Coast. Now, the good news is for the tri-state area, none of these storms are going to impact us. But this is a record-breaking season nonetheless. And if there's anything you should take away from this is that we are in the middle of a very action-packed season. And we are now climbing into the peak of the season. So you're going to hear a lot about hurricanes over the next 4 to 6 weeks. And it's going to take a lot of luck for the United States as a whole to dodge these storms going forward. And case in point is going to be sadly this week. As we look closer at Marco, this is the satellite picture, and you can see how close it is to the Louisiana coast. Now, on the southwest side of the circulation, there's a lot of dry air and there's a lot of wind shear. And those winds are buffering the storm, and it's keeping it from becoming a real powerhouse of a system. So that is good news. But it's still a formidable storm nonetheless. It's a Category 1 hurricane. And with the continental shelf being so broad in the Gulf of Mexico, you really don't need a lot to push a lot of water onto the shoreline. And that's what we're going to see with Hurricane Marco. Now, the forecast from the National Hurricane Center has the storm straddling the Louisiana coast over the next day or so, with perhaps a landfall by tomorrow night somewhere along that southern Louisiana coast. And then from there, it should go and dissipate in the inland as it goes and loses the power that it gets from the very warm water. So that's Marco, and that's problem number one. Now, problem number two is Tropical Storm Laura. Now, Tropical Storm Laura is located in the Caribbean right now, very close to the eastern tip of Cuba. She's been maintaining her status as a tropical storm. The island of Cuba, as well as the other islands of Jamaica, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, etc., they have not disrupted the circulation to the extent that it would kill the system. Now, once this storm is away from the Cuban coast, it will have a chance to intensify. And I believe that the wind shear, the strong upper level winds that are currently buffering Marco, they're not going to be there in the next day or so when Laura makes her way into the Gulf of Mexico. So the GFS, when we look at what it does with the system, this is Wednesday morning, and those upper level winds have relaxed. And as we take it forward, it brings the system into the Texas-Louisiana coast, around where Hurricane Ike landed and around where Hurricane Rita landed. Those were two infamous storms in the last 15 years. And my fear is that this is going to develop into a major hurricane. Now, the models don't quite have that. They have it as a Category 2 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. That would be bad enough. But my fear is that this suddenly ramps up using the very warm water and the fact that it does not have the wind shear, the upper level winds bothering the system as Marco does currently. So there's a look at those two systems for this week. And I fear that we are entering into a very formidable period. And we already have had a formidable period, but I think it's only going to maintain itself or get worse over the next 4 to 6 weeks as we dive into the peak of hurricane season 2020.